Hey, what's going on, guys? Kalamazi here. I can finally make a video for you guys. There's finally content to talk about. And with that, well, it's Warlock content. There are Warlock changes coming in today to, well, today's beta build, I guess yesterday's build. Buffs, mostly buffs across the board. Buffs or changes that don't make a big difference for most of the things that were changed, but we'll talk about it today. Also, a couple changes that were not announced, were just hot fixed randomly, and one of them is massive. So we're gonna hit on all that today. Talk about it, look at a little bit in combat, and go from there. So I guess technically a couple things before we get too far into the video and things here. Okay, a few things to hit on because pre-patch is in a few days. Number one, I will have a UI video with all the profiles and add-ons that I am using coming out tomorrow. Like 24 hours from this video coming out, roughly. All the profiles, add-ons I use are free. I mean, the profiles are my own. I made, obviously, like, they're all for free. I don't charge for anything. There you go. I'll have the video out in like a day. I was just waiting for Blizz to push a build to see if they broke things. They changed some things. Cool. Good to go. So now we can probably get that out pretty soon. So there's that. We will also have guides coming out probably starting Saturday. It's like Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, probably. It could be just like be all 2 or 3 at once for AFT Modestro for pre-patch stuff. We're going to have larger guides coming out, more in-depth ones for the expansion release in like a month or so. But there's pre-patch guides, basically like, hey, I play these talents, might be right. I don't know. Sims aren't done for a while. Here's what I've been doing rotationally. Have fun. It's pre-patch. So there's that. Number 3, if you want access to the beta spreadsheet, the Warlock beta one, if you're looking for that early access, I should say, it always comes out for the expansion launches. It's on Patreon now for early access at the tier 3 Felgo rank or higher if you want it. Should be a link down below somewhere. But it always comes out for free before the expansion launches. And also, guys, we are less than 3,000 subs away for 100K. If you guys aren't subbed, it would mean the world to me if you considered subbing to YouTube. And yeah, at 100K, we get a plaque. And I have things, I have space on my wall to fill with various plaques and things next to THD. Okay, so that was a lot. So getting into the changes here. So these are the announced changes today. There were some changes coming in last night that we sort of caught, but they weren't announced at all, and they were just data mined. I don't know why they weren't talked about, but we'll get to those in a minute. So number 1 here, we have some changes coming in. We'll just start here at the top. Hellcaller, Malevolence damage increase by 230%. Now, this is not going to be Malevolence that... So this is not buffing Blackened Soul, which is like sort of part of Malevolence if you're unfamiliar with the ability. Malevolence does damage when you cast the ability. Crazy. Yeah, no one ever thinks about that, but it doesn't really come to mind very much, but it does. It's not very much, but here's a random parse for Arakara. Malevolence's damage is right here at 0.75%. So this is being buffed by 230%. It goes to like 3% roughly in AoE for Destro. It's whatever. It's free damage, sure. No big deal. But there's that. But it's not buffing Blackened Soul or anything else with that. It's just doing that. However, Blackened Soul itself is being buffed by 20%. I think Blackened Soul and Wither for Hellcaller, respectively, have been... They're probably going to be... Take it off. They're probably going to be getting up there in the Psychic Link territory of change logs for WoW, like on Wowhead and stuff. They buffed and nerfed Blackened Soul so many times, Wither and things over the last couple expansion and a half, whatever it is. But hey, buffed by 20 and Wither by 25. So I mean, honestly, it's just sort of feeding into that big profile that Destro Hellcaller has on Plus. Same thing. Rate of fires. Do some damage. Blackened Soul with Wither does a lot more than that. A log was linked earlier, I think, by Metro. It's like, I think Blackened Soul is like 45% of their damage in a dungeon. Rain of Fire is like 20. I don't know. I think Wither was 45. Blackened Soul is part of Wither in the breakdown, and Blackened Soul is like 30% or something like that. It's the same thing. If you play Destro for the last 80 years, it's the same thing. It's just the back and forth of it's too bad, it's too good, buff it and nerf it. But I will take it. Not bad. Through the Fellvine now increases Chaos Bolt damage by 10%, was 8, and Rain of Fire by 8 was 4. So, very important thing here with Through the Fellvine. So, when it comes to this talent here, let's go off the Destro for a minute. When it comes to this talent, Through the Fellvine is The effect is doubled when Malevolence is active. It's a new ability. It's sitting right here. Increase the damage of Chaos Bolt by 10 and Rain by 8. It was Bolt by 8 and Rain by 4. This effect is doubled while Malevolence is active. So obviously, as Hellcaller, you're pairing Malevolence with your Infernal every 2 minutes, so on and so forth. There's this weird talent that they added in about a month ago. It makes your Infernal a minute and a half. Now you might just play this for the Mastery effect if you're playing Hellcaller. Maybe, I don't know, Diabolus doesn't really care because you just throw it whenever. There's no, like, Malevolence for Diabolus, but there's that. Maybe there are some fights. I think I actually desynced Infernal and Malevolence on Fallen King Salhadar testing because there's, like, different timestamps of abilities spawning in. But for the most part, with the buffs coming in, and say you're playing Hellcaller, obviously with Through the Felvine and, like, the Infernal and Crashing Chaos, you're probably not going to want to desync that if you're playing his talent. Very weird. I'm not a huge... This talent's cool for Diabolus, but it's sort of weird for Hellcaller. I wish these were reversed, where you had like Incarnate here and Inferno here, because I do want this, like, for both, likely, but I don't know if I really want the CDR for Hellcaller. The Mastery's fine, but it's sort of weird. You have a minute cooldown and then a minute and a half, but the minute doubles, increases damage of spells that are buffed by the minute and a half cooldown that don't pair together. You know what I mean? It's like old AF with, like, Singularity being 45 and Dark Lair being 3 and everything else being weird. I don't know, but... whatever. So there's that. Nice buff there. Now, Soul Harvester. This was buffed significantly today. Wicked Reaping now increases the damage of Manifested Avarice's Soul Swipe. So we got to go into the tree here. We'll change to Demonology because Affliction, not that Demonology. So when it comes to this talent here, Wicked Reaping is sitting right here. There, basically. It's this green thing. Let me just change. Sure. So with this thing here, it basically says your demonic soul, whatever it is, deals 30% increased damage. Worth noting, this is Demonology only. Affliction has this talent as well for Soul Harvester. It's still 10 for Affliction, but Demonology says 30. It's also now affecting Manifested Avarice's Soul Swipe. This is a new ability here. I'm going to make a Healthstone. This is annoying. This is a new ability here. So it wasn't affecting this ability, Soul Swipe. This is basically our tier set from retail or whatever, but there you go. So it is now affecting Soul Swipe, which has bumped the damage up significantly for that and plus, and just in general. So 30% buff here, or 10 to 30, and this is being affected by it now as well. So there is that. Briefly, Affliction, Satiel's Volition no longer affects the chance of getting Nightfall. We'll get to that in a minute. They nerfed Nightfall proctions a bit. It's whatever. It feels bad for Hellcaller, but... whatever. So a lot of demonology. I don't know why they show a lot of demonology things here. Now, how do I phrase this? So I guess I skipped ahead a bit here. So you can see the Wicked Reaping buff here from 10 to 30. So this Soul Harvester Wicked Reaping effect here, this is working for both Demonology and Affliction. Like this is working for both. They fixed the bug. So that's Demonology and Affliction all the same. The 30% buff from 10 is only Demonology. But swap to AF here, would say 10 in the same place of Wicked Reaping right here. Probably look at it in a minute. So they buffed Satiel's Volition by a lot. Increases Wild Imp damage by 35%, was 5. Wild Imps are a pretty decent part of your damage right now for a lot of reasons and things. In testing, Soul Harvester Demonology looks to be doing more than Diabolist in single target, and likely AoE and M+ as well. It looks good. And buffing Imp damage, I mean, Imp damage means you're getting damage, like it's buffing Unstable Soul Imps to hell and back, Imp Gang Boss General Imps. It's buffing Imps. They're a large portion of your damage, right? So that's, let me get this guy out. That's pretty impactful. This might even, I don't want to say too much, but it's a lot. But honestly, like Soul Harvester was behind a good bit. If they want to buff that, it's cool because it feels like Soul Harvester is not necessarily as spiky as Diabolist, but it sustains more now because they're buffing Imp damage and that's more like sustained constant source of damage. So that's sort of cool. So yeah, I had to edit the video there briefly because I had a choking attack, but no big deal, we're back. So Satiel's Volition, big buffs to Imps here, very cool. Wicked Reaping, so once again, this is the 30% buff, was 10. Demonic Soul buff by 30, Soul Swipe by 20, Wicked Reaping buff by 100, Soul Anathema by 50. So this is sort of confusing. Wicked Reaping has two different abilities, essentially. This is, the 100% buff is essentially to the second part of this, the second text line, whatever. Consuming demonic cores feeds the entity. They buffed that by 100%. The first part It says damage dealt by your soul increased by 30. That was also buffed from 10. So they're both buffed here for Soul Harvester for Demonology. Dude, Soul Harvester looks pretty good for both specs for now that it covers. So there's that. The last thing here in the mention changes, there's more changes coming, don't worry. Well, I guess there's two. They cut Echo Sargeras in half for Destro. Sorry, just can't see. There you go. They cut this in half. It was really strong. It honestly is still pretty strong. It's like your second source of damage or third source of damage, depending on the build. It's still pretty good, but it was probably a bit too strong. Sort of expected nerf. Unfortunate, but it still looks sick and still does damage, so there's that. The Chaos Bolt Destro build and then plus with Diabolus, it might still see some play somewhere, but I mean, they did fix the Rain of Fire not consuming the eyeballs though. The Oculi, that works now for Diabolus stuff, so we'll see where that goes in the long run. The Affliction change here though. So we're reducing the duration of Haunt to match its cooldown. The reasoning for this, I don't agree with this, but we'll talk about it in a minute. I think it's an easy fix. The reasoning for this changes to avoid situations where it's possible to have two active haunts. Okay, I agree with why they're changing it. I didn't like that a whole lot either. It felt sort of gimmicky. At one time, causing high damage spikes when talented in the Shadow Death Reason, which is your Apex talent, basically. Additionally, we're removing the synergy between Creeping Death, Satel's Volition, and Nightfall to reduce resource flooding. They're trying to reduce Nightfall procs. Whatever, it's fine. For Soul Harvester. For Hellcaller, it's a little... you feel a little starved on shards because like you don't have Dark Harvest to generate shards like Soul Harvester does every 30, and losing some Nightfall stacks has hurt a bit, but we'll look at that in a minute. But at the same time, that's only Creeping Death essentially, not really Satel, so there's that because this is a Soul Harvester thing. But either way, so the Haunt change here. The Haunt change is interesting. So what they're talking about is, let me just go fly to a dummy here real fast. What they're talking about is that when Haunt's cooldown is 18 seconds. Haunt's duration is... No, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. Haunt's duration is 18 seconds. It can be active. It will be active on a target for 18 seconds when you cast it. Haunt's cooldown was 15. So what you're able to do is essentially, you used to be able to just cast Haunt on a target here, whatever, there you go, and it would be active for 18 seconds. But the cooldown would be up about 3 seconds before the effect ended. So if you were really tight on your Haunt casting, you can say, all right, in 6 seconds here, I'm going to cast Haunt on a second target here, and you'll have 2 active for a matter of 3 seconds, right? Like right about now. Not the case anymore, but basically they have 2 active here for a couple seconds. It seems like it wouldn't be that big of a deal, but it is, or was, because of our new talent, our Apex talent. They moved him here, by the way. It looks pretty cool. When Haunt's active, you get a chance to call down a Demonic Meteor. It led to excessive spikes of damage when you could high roll, or when you could... I guess when you high roll procs and having 2 haunts active. I get why they're changing it. I agree with it. But I don't think making it 15-15 is right. We just make it limited to 1 target, or make it like UA was forever. Just make it so if you cast, like if leave it or revert it to 18 seconds for duration, and make it so if you cast, you know, a haunt on a different target with 1 remaining, it just takes it off and puts it over there for full duration. I think it used to function that way, actually. I'm pretty sure it did. I could be wrong. I think it did. And that solves the issue of, like, let's say we're in combat here, you know, fighting, doing whatever, putting up dots, opening up, having a gold time, cast my UA, Haunt's already out, dots are up, we're dinking around fighting, you know. It removes the issue of Haunt falling and not being able to, like, be kept active for a certain amount of time. It's going to fall, like, now, and I can't refresh to it right now. So it falls for like a second, but it could be 2 seconds if I'm standing back here. Or it could be 2.5, like maybe a bit more than 2 from standing far back. Like, point being, there's some time where there's some downtime on Haunt. And you don't really want that because Haunt buffs all your damage. Not just dots, it buffs trinkets, weapon proc and chance to do damage. It buffs every source of damage. It is a flat damage increase, right? So I really think reverting this to 18-second duration, 15-second cooldown, but just make it limited to 1 target. So like I said, if this is active here and it has 18 seconds on the actual debuff and it comes off cooldown at 15, I just cast it here, it'll just pull off the last 3 seconds on this target, just delete it basically, remove it, and there's a new one over here. It's fine. You're not, I mean, there's no double dipping, there's no, like, you know, trying to cheese the Apex talent. You know, I get why they're changing it. I agree with it. It felt sort of bad. I didn't like the double haunt thing, but either way, there's that. Also, these look cool. Yo, Blizz, put these here. Don't cram this in here. Put these here. Like, there's all the empty space here. Put this here. These look sick. Why is it crammed in here? But yeah, that's that. Okay, so we'll look at a couple things in combat real quickly here in a minute. But there's some actual unmentioned changes that hit, which is very weird. I don't know why they didn't announce these, but there's that. So, we'll try and go through here briefly. I guess they... I didn't even see this one, honestly. Howl of Terror, they reduce Lillian's battle from 15 to 10. Okay, here's some malevolence buff. These were in here. Through the Felvine buffs are in here as well. Imp damage from Satiel's buff there. Let me go to this other screen again for you there. Reaping buff, sure. So there was a nerf to Corruption and Shadow Bolt last night that was mentioned. They were setting the modifiers back to 0 that I saw somewhere, but they also buffed... Actually, they buffed Wither today. They didn't buff Corruption, I don't think. Yeah, they buffed Withers. I think it's a bit of a nerf to... Oh, no, sorry, it's a bit of a buff. I lied to you. It's a small buff to Corruption. But there are nerfs somewhere I saw. We'll get to it in a minute, I guess. For sure. This looks to be, for Affliction, a buff to Shadow Bolt, I guess. It looks to be a decently large buff, like 120% maybe. Can't really tell, but I assume so, unless this is some weird mist that I haven't really seen, but I don't know. Let me make sure this is the right section of the actual article. Yeah, it is. All right. Yeah, sure. Oh, there's more here too. Sorry, this is what I missed. I had to scroll way up. These weren't announced. I don't know why. So a lot of like weird placeholder stuff happening here. God, there's so much. Let me just zoom out. This is too much. Okay. Here, Shadow Bolt was buffed from 25, or it says 253 to 42. I don't know. They changed something here, some aura. But yeah, here's the Corruption Wither aura that was reset from 13 to 0. Basically a bunch of iterations of this. There's the Haunt duration increase. Malefic Grasp is mentioned here. What is this? Corruption damage is chance to cause your next Shadow Bolt or Malefic Grasp. This still affects Drain Soul, right? We're gonna find out right now. This still affects Drain Soul, right? That's some weird change they made here, right? This still affects Drain Soul, correct? Playing the right spec? I am. Give me a Nightfall proc. Give me a Nightfall proc. Come on. Cast my Haunt. There we go. Am I... It does. Okay, it does. I was like, that's very weird. It's probably a tooltip change, but it's weird this wasn't announced. You have to dig through here and find hotfixes for stuff. But okay. Whew, okay, so there's that. It's probably Shadow Bolt or Drain Soul. It changed based on the talent for the tooltip, but it does indeed affect Malefic Grasp. It has for a while. It's probably a tooltip change. So there's that. There are various buffs in here, other things too we talked about, whatever. Demonology or resets too for Shadow Bolt and stuff, I guess is why they buffed it in other places. There's that. So Hellbent Commander has been nerfed from 2 to 1. That was last week. It's still bugged in a plethora of ways, so whatever. Now, this is a huge one. Why this wasn't mentioned anywhere, I have no idea. Implosion has been made a 15-second cooldown. It's been this on PTR for like 3 weeks, but on beta it's been 30. I don't know. This is like a massive change. Why didn't we announce this? Like, I'm surprised. They cut the damage in half, and they cut the Helen back in half, but they made Implosion 15 seconds from 30. I'll make that deal. I'll make that deal. That's a damn good deal. It's been this way on beta for PTR, and PTR is pre-patch. Beta is midnight release in a month. I don't know why this was never announced. I didn't see it anywhere, and no one else has, from what I understand either. But we knew it was a thing for a few weeks on PTR. But awesome. If you look at it in game in a minute here, I'll show you. It's 15 seconds. So there you go. I'll make that deal. There you go. Besides that, they changed a haste parameter on Chaotic Inferno. I don't even know. Here's the Embers nerf, basically in half. There's Bellow Malevolence to Felvine. Yeah, there's a Corruption minor buff there, which probably offsets the aura being reset. I don't. This is a tooltip fix, I guess. I don't know what they even did here. Curse of Exhaustion. They changed something with the Foul Mouth, but it's fine. Casting Curse of Exhaustion. Oh, yeah, they added a tooltip. So, I mean, yeah, there's like random things hidden in here that are like just sort of whatever. And then there's some pretty big things in here too. So, yeah, there's that. But briefly, we can look at a couple things in combat. So, like we said, I can show you briefly Implosion. I might even just see it here for Demonology. It is indeed a 15-second cooldown, which is pretty crazy. They did nerf to Hell and Back, which is unsurprising with the changes coming into Implosion. There you go. So 15 seconds. I'll make that deal. I'll take that. That's good. They did nerf this from 100% to 50%, but there you go. There is that. And then when it comes to Affliction, so I heard that Malefic Grasp for Unstable Affliction is fixed. However, Fatal Echoes is broken. Like in a bad way. It doesn't even work anymore. It used to be, it would only reapply the last iteration of UA, like the last stack. When you only had one UA active, it would reapply that. It had a chance to reapply it. Now it doesn't work at all. It doesn't reapply any of them. They tried to fix it and just broke somehow. I don't know. It's what it is. But hopefully it's fixed at some point, because at this point you're not playing anywhere. It's just a dead talent, obviously. When it was even working for like the last iteration, it was still just dead. You didn't play anywhere. So there's that. Now, when it comes to... I'm going to fly actually to Dazara lore here. When it comes to Affliction, the changes that were made today, the Haunt change, hopefully they can just revert to being like, limit 1. Hopefully they do. I think they'd be really good for this spec, like fluidity wise and stuff. But people want to see how the Nightfall proc chance, the changes to Creeping Death and Sad Volition not affecting Nightfall, or affecting like Nightfall procs feels in combat and stuff. I don't think there's ever been a larger disparity between like Hellcaller and Soul Harvester and how they feel in combat. You've had the Shard Gen part on like Soul Rot and things, in the past with Soul Harvester and Tyrant respectively for Demonology, but it was never really good. He never really played Soul Harvester. Like in some settings, maybe in like Undermine, a couple fights for like more front-loaded Rapture damage, but it's whatever. But like Soul Harvester feels good to play right now, and the Shard Gen, in conjunction with other Shard effects and things right now, feels really good to play. So we'll take a look at that briefly. So like let's just start off here. This is Soul Harvester and plus build for the most part. So I'm just going to open up. Now, Nightfall proc's going to be right here on my bar somewhere. We'll talk briefly through the Seed stuff. Details is working, by the way. You guys haven't seen that. And yeah, so we're going to cast Seed. Cast some Agonies. Agony. Dark Lair, Pot, whatever. Dark Harvest here. Sure, let's go. Generate some shards. So I have a Nightfall stack already. So, one Nightfall stack. Seed. Catch an Agony or two. Agony. It's not smart still, so there's that. Seed, Nightfall proc, there you go. Generate a shard, Seed, refresh Haunt. Seed, there's a Nightfall stack there. Another one right there. Seed. So we have 4 procs already. Seed. We're getting close to, once again, another Nightfall stack right there. So I'm out of shards now, but we're in like Agony refresh range, right? So go through, refresh some Agonies. Still not smart, that's that, whatever. Haunt, Seed. Oh, I have Dark Harvest again. Just Harvest. You're back to max shards. There's a Nightfall stack right there. Seed. The nerf to Nightfall's proc rate is not exceptionally noticeable for Soul Harvester, because you're still spamming a lot of seeds, but it felt like in previous combat, you had arguably almost like too many shards. Like, you just couldn't dump them. You let your Agonies fall because you had so many shards, and seed is a better source of damage, right? So I'm still seeding here. Still seeding. Now I'm out of shards, but I can refresh a couple Agonies, which are about in pandemic range. There we go. Look, 2 more stacks on Nightfall. Bang. There's Dark Harvest. So for Soul Harvester, it still feels fine. It honestly feels like it is arguably better, and it's playing the way they had envisioned. Like the shard count / Nightfall proc count, essentially being a shard count in a sense, is a little bit too high. But thankfully, they fixed that. So there we go. When it comes to Hellcaller, it's a little diff. So it's not like it's the end of the world. It's a little different. When it comes to how it feels. Now, you're playing Dark Harvest and things for Hellcaller still, at least as far as I've tested and seen. But there's no Shard Gen part of Dark Harvest tied to Hellcaller, obviously. That's all Soul Harvester stuff, like through here, right? Shadow of Death, Mock Soul, so on and so forth. You don't really have that for Hellcaller. You have other various things that increase, like, Black and Soul Wither damage. It's sort of like different profiles in a sense. Similar but different. You have Malevolence versus... Soul Harvester not having that. But I want to open up here, and we'll take a look at that comparatively and go from there. Oh, well, I opened up whatever, it's fine. I should have seeded a haunt, no big deal. Bang, bang, seed pops, there you go. We'll Dark Lair, we'll harvest some malevolence afterwards. So we have a Nightfall stack there, malevolence here, seed, seed, seed. We're gonna dump down here and probably sort of run out of shards a little faster. Unless we get some good procs. Seed, seed. So we're out of shards. A couple agonies here. Refresh, refresh, refresh. There's a Nightfall stack. Seed, haunt, seed. It's like you're still maintaining like a decent bit of, but we're out of shards here. So you're still maintaining like a bit of like a small, like, I guess, number or ratio of shards, but you get to a point where you're out of shards faster than Soul Harvester, obviously, because we're coming around the Dark Harvest right now. But like, throw a few seeds here, refresh my haunt. I have harvest now. I'm gonna harvest. I don't have 5 shards into this harvest. Basically, I have 1 again. So there's a Nightfall stack. There's a seed, seed. So it's still like not terrible. You can do fresh agonies in the meantime. Do whatever else. There's a seed here. Throw it there if you want. There's a shard and stability proc. I'm playing some weird build. Oh, it's through the talent here. Obviously, it used to be TC, right? But so it's still there. Just the profile is different. Obviously, it's built way more around Wither and Wither Black Control damage comparatively to, like, you know, Soul Harvester being shard gen, C damage, and, you know, well, shard gen through Dark Harvest and C damage, right? So Harvest is still not bad though. It's like 1.3 million there. Coming casting it again basically right now. Agony's 1.8. Seed Wither. It's not terrible. Just they're different play styles, but I do feel like Soul Harvester feels a lot better when it comes to that stuff. It just does. I don't really know. The constant shard gen just feels good. You know, basically every 35-ish seconds you're gonna have like a Dark Harvest. Probably every 40 to 42 now with like the Nightfall change a bit and being more realistic. But you have 3 or 4 shards, like 3 being generated plus the 1 probably naturally generated during the Dark Harvest cast every 40-ish seconds, and that's pretty strong and hard to ignore. So yeah, the last thing I want to look at here very briefly is Soul Harvester Demonology. So I'm playing this build here. It might change a little bit. I think Metro's playing no Rune of Shadows, like Brutality Tactics. I heard this is bugged and not working. We talked about this a few weeks ago. Maybe playing no Rune. But if I like looking at the math, how often we cast Shadow Bolt, it wasn't worth it. Even like in plus, but we'll see where it goes. Might be worth. But yeah, so like when it comes to demo stuff, Soul Harvester is where it cranks. Whether it's single target or AoE. So we're just gonna open up here. I am playing like the Apex Talent build. It's more focused around like no summoner stuff or no ramped here anymore, just dog refunds, so on and so forth. But yeah, let's open up here. Also, important to keep in mind, you can, or you'll generate 3 shards whenever you cast your Tyrant, playing Soul Harvester Demo. And I noticed that if I'm casting my Tyrant and I'm spamming Doomguard or like Grimoire when, how do I phrase this? It's very weird, but let's say I'm at 3 shards right now and I'm going into casting my Tyrant, right? If I spam like Doomguard or Grimoire Fel Ravager when I'm casting Tyrant, there's like a little window where it'll consume the shard basically from 3 to 2 by casting one of these. They're off cooldown, and then the game will like register the generation of 3 shards for Soul Harvester. So you can almost like game it in a sense. I did it a couple times earlier. We'll see if we can do it here, but yeah, open up. So keep in mind, dogs don't cost shards here. So we're just gonna go dogs into Tyrant, spam cast, whatever, and try and get Doomguard to go off or whatever. So dogs, Tyrant, spam Doomguard. Yeah, there you go, right there. There you go. Yep, there you go. So we're juiced up here. We're gonna implode. There we go. I would cast dog here if I cared enough, but it's whatever. It's fine. Just cycle hands for Apex Talent stuff. Our bolts coming in from our non-extended dogs. We can go bolt, bolt, hand. I'm going to try and go another Shadow Bolt through here, try and get one more pet in, which we did. Very cool. Now we can cast dogs. We can implode now as well. 15 seconds on implosion feels very good. We really need a way to track our Apex Talent and our cooldown manager, though. Having to look up here for my buff every minute is miserable. So we need some way to add this, please, Blizzard. Yeah, but there's that. Yeah, no, that's basically it. But as far as demo stuff's concerned, it honestly feels pretty good. The damage is pretty solid. Like, look at the Monarch Soul cranking, 700k. A Mind Seer is from a Jailer, or I think it's an Antorian Jailer, and Soul Barrage is from like something else, one of the pets or whatever. But it's up there. You're gonna have souls every minute, right? So I don't know. I'm trying to think through this sequencing of Tyrant stuff to make sure I'm actually doing it right. So like if we're at 3 shards here, just to leave combat. If we're at 3 shards here, and and I'm Tyranting, I think. Yeah, because if it was, so that trick I was doing, so if it was consuming the shards after Tyrant was cast, it would put us at 4 essentially, right? It would be like let's say we're Tyranting, you know, spamming Doomguard to like try and get the actual shard, like consumption spell in before the actual shard generated from Soul Harvester. And it didn't work. It would look like this. Like on Tyranting, it would be like 5 shards, and you would see the shard being taken away. If look at that big dog. If like a shard queuing window or whatever was functioning and more of like a prioritizing the 3 shards from Tyrant being generated over like the next spell you cast. But it's not. And that's why you're able to go like I have 3 shards and then Tyrant into like Doomguard or whatever, and then, you know, spam it, and then you still have 5 shards afterwards, basically. TLDR, yeah, because you would be overcapping, and it would still consume 1 if it hadn't gone off that way. So, yeah, there you go. It doesn't seem like a whole lot, but it actually does help a little bit, because it feels sort of clunky trying to squeeze in, like, Doomguards or dogs after your Tyrant goes off, because, like, you're trying to, like, maximize Handing Gul'dan cast, right? Like, trying to find a window, oh, I can cast a shard here, or throw a shard here, versus, like, just casting more hands, some more Apex Talent fueling feels weird. But if you can do that and leverage that for Soul Harvester, it's pretty nice. So, once again, like, we're at 3 shards here. Dogs are free, so I'll cast them in a second here. They're going to go right in the Tyrant. Now, at 3 shards, like, Tyrant, when he's cast, will generate 3 shards when he spawns in. That'll overcap us. It put us like 6, but whatever, it doesn't really matter because like cap to 5. However, we're going to spam Doomguard right when our Tyrant is casting, which will theoretically put us from 3 shards to 2 when the cast begins. But then Tyrant's gonna like the resolving the Tyrant's gonna be checked, and the 3 shards will generate afterwards, putting us at 5, right? Versus doing that, spamming Dark or Doomguard, having it go off after the shards are generated. That will put us at 4. You could tell if that was working or not. So TLDR, here are dogs. Here's Tyrant. Spam Doomguard. It's working. So there you go. You can even see it dip a bit before Tyrant comes out. So the bar goes like, woof. Yeah, so you can game that for sure if you spell queue with Tyrant or spell queue Darklair or dog. So, and it does save time because like during this window, like you want to just cast 3 shard hands. I don't want to be like, oh, well, let me cast my dog here. Now I got to build a shard again. No, you just want to go hand. So that cycling is nice. So I think it's a pretty good find. Hopefully it stays that way. But Soul Harvester feels good, man. It cranks. Single target and AoE. So thanks for watching, guys. It wraps it up. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully I gave you a better understanding of where AF, Demo, Destra, all that after today's changes. Like I said, I'm surprised. Like I said, I'm surprised some of these changes weren't announced. I guess they were maybe just thrown in before like the holidays or afterwards, and they got around to it now. I don't know, but I think Lock's a lot of fun to play on beta right now. Destro's capstone's a little weird. I don't know what's gonna happen there. No changes to Grasp, Darklair stuff, but it is what it is. I don't know what to tell you, but I'm excited. You guys are too. So I will say, if you guys want any profiles of mine, not weak awards, because they're gone basically in a week or so, I'll have links like Twitch and link up here, Discord as well as down below. The video on my UI and stuff, all the profiles will be going live in about 24 hours from this video. So if you're looking at this video the same day it comes out, give it like half a day or a day, and follow those links or hop in now and get ready for it, whatever. But I'll have the video coming out. It'll have all the profiles to import if you guys want them. It's my UI, probably ain't great, or it probably ain't the best, but probably isn't optimal 100% for a world first POV, but I think it's pretty good. I don't know. I think it's solid. I put a lot of time into it, so yeah. At the same time, I want to give a huge thank you to my supporters on Patreon for all support, guys. Like always, thank you, y'all. I really appreciate it. Without your support, I wouldn't be able to keep doing what I do. I wouldn't be able to do what I do. And yeah, so I greatly appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. Yeah, I'm pumped, man. There's a lot of videos coming out in the next few days, a lot of content coming out. I probably will not be around on stream for a couple days. I need to get Wowhead deadlines done, the website done, spreadsheets, all this stuff, videos recorded, but I'm excited. Hopefully you guys are too. Pre-patches in a week. Midnight's a month and a half away. And that time's gonna fly by. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you again soon on stream. Peace.